Every man dies twice. The first time, when his heart stops beating. The second time, when the world forgets he ever existed. You're scared of uploading that first video not because no one will watch, but because deep down, you know you're afraid of being ignored. That your voice might not matter. That your story might vanish like you're never even here. I told you. That's exactly why you should start. Because most men live lives of quiet desperation. You wake up, scroll your phone, go to a job you hate, lie to yourself that you're fine. And YouTube? That's not just a platform. It's your weapon. The only way to take the pain in your chest, the fire in your gut, and build something immortal. You're sitting there, scrolling, angry at the world, feeling like you're screaming into a void no one hears. Sound familiar? Good. That rage, that hunger, it's the fuel you're about to ignite. Men, let's cut the nonsense. You're not here to waste another 20 minutes. You're here because something's clawing at your chest. A need to be seen, to be heard, to prove you're not just another nobody. You've thought about starting a YouTube channel. Maybe you've even recorded a video, but you stopped. Why? Because you're terrified no one will watch. Let me tell you a secret. No one watching is exactly why you need to start. This isn't about views. It's about forging a man out of the ashes of your fears. This is about dark psychology, raw ambition, and the war inside your head. Stay with me. This is going to hurt, but it's going to wake you up. Picture this. You're 25, stuck in a dead-end job, or maybe you're 30, still living in your mom's basement. Your ex left you for a guy with a better car, and your friends are too busy posting their perfect lives on Instagram to notice you're drowning. You've got this fire inside, but every time you think about hitting upload, a voice whispers, "Who's going to care? You're not special." That voice, it's not your enemy. It's your shadow, the part of you that's been beaten down by rejection, failure, and a world that tells men to shut up and take it. The human brain is wired to avoid pain. It's called the amygdala hijack. When you think about posting a video and imagine 0 views, your brain screams, danger, humiliation. So you freeze. But here's the dark truth. That fear is a liar. It's not protecting you. It's chaining you. Starting YouTube with no audience forces you to stare into that void and realize it's just a mirror. It's you. And the only way to change what you see is to act. When you start, no one watches. And that's not a curse. That's a gift wrapped in pain. Because here's the cold, psychological truth. You haven't earned the right to be seen yet. You're not dangerous yet. You're not disciplined yet. You haven't sharpened your voice. You haven't bled enough on camera. And deep down, you know it. The Dunning-Kruger effect proves this. Most beginners overestimate their skill and underestimate the process. They post one video, get no attention, and quit. Because they thought trying once was enough. But reality? The first 100 videos are practice swings. No crowd. No cheers. No validation. Just pain, repetition, and self-confrontation. But here's where it gets powerful. Every upload becomes a middle finger to the part of you that wants to stay a coward. Every time you post, you kill another piece of that soft, excuse-making version of yourself. No audience? That's freedom. It means no critics. No pressure. You can suck in peace. You can build silently. You can experiment without fear. You don't have to perform. You can become. It's you versus you now. A dark room. A shaky camera. Your voice cracks. Your eyes dart. Your confidence trembles. But you still press upload. And that, right there, is the turning point. Imagine this. A man sits on his broken chair in a room that smells like regret. He's broke. He's angry. No one's clapping for him. No one cares. But something inside says, record. So he does. The lighting is trash. The audio is raw. He stutters halfway through. His message is all over the place. But he posts it. And guess what? No likes. No comments. No views. Silence. But when he lies in bed that night, something shifts. His body didn't change. His money didn't change. But his identity did. Because for the first time in years, he showed the F***K up. He faced his own reflection and didn't flinch. That's where strong men are born. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows where they bleed and nobody claps. That first video, it wasn't for the world. It was for him. To prove he's still alive. Your pain is your content. Look me in the eye. What broke you? Was it the girl who blocked you after swearing she'd never leave? The father who left and never called back? Was it watching everyone else win while you sat in silence, clapping for people who never noticed you? Good, because that is your gold. See, in dark psychology, there's a principle. Pain is energy, and energy never dies. It transforms into depression, addiction, rage, or into power. If, and only if, you learn to narrate it. Because the second you put your pain into words, it stops owning you. That's the secret warriors know. That's why soldiers write books. That's why fighters tell their stories. Because if you don't speak it, it controls you. But if you bleed it into the lens, you become the author. YouTube, it's not about going viral. It's about violating your silence. Take that heartbreak, the one that shattered you and made you question if you were ever enough, and speak it. Take that failure, the job you lost, the exam you failed, the moment you froze in fear, and break it down, piece by piece. Take that rage, the pure, primal fury at a world that never handed you sh*t, and channel it. Bleed into the lens. Because people don't connect with your filters. They don't care about your success montage. They connect with your scars, because they have the same ones. You know why most motivational content feels fake? Because it's polished lies wrapped in cheap music. But when a man tells the truth about his pain, with no ego, no script, no mask, the world listens. Storytelling is therapy for warriors. It's the only form of healing that multiplies. You speak your truth. You heal. Someone else hears it. They heal. Then they speak. And the chain continues. That's what YouTube becomes. Not a platform, but a battleground. Every upload is a death, a burial of weakness. And every video becomes a resurrection, a sharper, stronger version of you coming alive. Your pain is not a curse. It's your blueprint. And until you weaponize it, you'll keep bleeding silently in the shadows. But once you do, you don't just post videos. You build a legacy. Nobody owes you views, and that's powerful. The algorithm doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about your pain, your dreams, or your potential. It's not your friend. And that's exactly why it's fair. Because this game doesn't reward victims. It rewards killers. Not with weapons, but with focus, consistency, and patience. You want views. Earn them. Not by begging. Not by hoping. But by outlasting every man who quits after 10 uploads. Life mirrors the algorithm. No one claps for the man in the shadows. No one hands attention to the man who still whispers when he should roar. And that's power. Because if nobody owes you views, then nobody controls your value. You control it. Jordan Peterson once said, "Take on the heaviest burden you can carry and walk with it." YouTube is that burden. Because it forces you to face the part of you that wants things too easy. The first 50 videos, they'll be ignored. The 51st, maybe one like. And that one like. It's earned. Through discipline. Through tears. Through grinding in silence. YouTube isn't unfair. It's brutally honest. It tells you, your video isn't good enough, yet. Your message isn't clear, yet. Your presence isn't strong, yet. And if that breaks you, good. Because the weak version of you needed to die anyway. But if it hardens you, you become a different animal. Think of it like this. Every video is a blade. At first, it's dull, sloppy, weak. But every time you speak, you sharpen it. Every edit, every title, every failure, sharpened. Until one day, you cut through the noise. And the men who laughed at you, they'll scroll past your name and won't even realize. You've become the algorithm now. So let every ignored upload, every empty comment section, every quiet failure be your sharpening stone. Because the moment you stop expecting views is the moment you start deserving them. Consistency builds character. Here's a dark truth. Most men quit, not because they're weak, but because their ego can't survive invisibility. They post 3 videos. No likes, no views, and their pride shatters. Because deep down, they weren't creating to build themselves. They were creating to be seen. But if you keep going, through the silence, through the embarrassment, through the slow death of your ego, you evolve. You mutate into something stronger. Neuroscience backs this up. Repetition rewires your brain. Each video you film, each sentence you speak, you're carving new neural pathways. You're literally rebuilding who you are. Not through fame, through force of will. And here's the power move. You do it without applause. No one is clapping. No one is validating you. And yet, you keep showing up. That's not weakness. That's not madness. That's godlike discipline. You're sending a message to the universe. I don't need your attention to keep moving. I don't need your approval to speak truth. I don't need your likes to become a legend. You show up to war even when no one's watching. And that's what makes you dangerous. Not your views. Not your numbers. Your conviction. And slowly, people notice. They don't know why they're drawn to you. But something about you hits different. Your words are sharper. Your energy is heavier. Because you paid the price in silence. Remember this. Everyone laughs at the man who records videos in his bedroom. Until that bedroom becomes a kingdom. Until the man who once whispered into a $30 mic becomes a voice men can't ignore. Until the room that once echoed with self-doubt becomes a temple of power. And the man who once had nothing now has everything that matters. Not because it was given to him, but because he refused to quit when no one cared. Document your rise, not perfection. Let me shatter the biggest lie right now. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need the fancy setup, the six-pack, or the six-figure mindset. You just need one thing. To be real. Start exactly where you are. Angry. Heartbroken. Broke. Confused. Trapped between who you are and who you know you could be. Film that version of you. Because somewhere out there, another man is drowning in the exact same pit. And he doesn't need another fake guru flashing watches. He doesn't need another alpha male barking recycled lines. He needs a brother. A man who's one step ahead of the darkness. A man who says, I'm not out yet, but I'm climbing. And here's how. That's what YouTube can become. A mirror for broken men. Not to reflect how far behind they are, but to show them what's possible if they refuse to give up. So document the war. Let them see your transformation. Let them see the awkward stutters, the cracked voice, the failed ideas. Let them see you bleed, adjust, and rise. Because every time you evolve on camera, they grow with you. And that, right there, is legacy. Not perfection, not pretense, but process. Because the men who wait until they're ready never start. And the men who never start, they leave nothing behind. No proof they ever fought. No map for the next generation. They live. They die. As shadows. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to turn on the camera and tell the truth. And if you do that consistently, you become dangerous. You become remembered. Because men don't follow gods. They follow warriors who bleed and still move forward. Let me leave you with this. If you die tomorrow, will the world have any proof you existed? Not your bank account. Not your job title. Not your Instagram posts. Real proof. Will there be any record that says, I was here. I bled. I broke. I loved. I lost. I learned. And I refuse to die quietly. Every man carries a voice inside him that was never meant to stay silent. But most men, they bury it. They wait. They postpone their greatness until it's too late. Not you. YouTube isn't about going viral. It's about vengeance. Vengeance against the version of you that stayed small. Against the fear that silenced you. Against every person who made you feel invisible. It's about immortality. Leaving a digital fingerprint that screams, I mattered. Even if you never clapped for me. Pick up the phone. Hit record. Say what needs to be said. Post a damn video. And when no one claps, clap for your F***ng self. Asterisk. Because every upload is a rebellion. A refusal to be forgotten. A declaration that you will not be a ghost walking this earth. The world ignores the man who waits for permission. But it kneels for the one who dares to be remembered. So speak. Bleed. Build. Because the graveyard is full of men who stayed silent. But the internet, that's where legends echo forever.